Hey guys, I'm April and this is Mate, and today I wanted to share with you guys how I learned to speak Spanish. So you guys have met my husband Tona, and he is from Mexico, and so we speak Spanish all the time here at home. I was just thinking the other day about how crazy it is that I learned Spanish by being completely immersed in it on my mission, and so it prompted me to make this video for you. Yay! I actually started to be really interested in Spanish when I was a kid because my mom was a missionary in Argentina, as some of you know, and she spoke Spanish. So with us, she would say some things in Spanish, and I remember asking her all the time, how do you say this? How do you say that? How do you say? ¿Cómo se dice? Anyway, she taught me quite a few words, and then I grew up in Arizona, so we had lots of friends who spoke Spanish. And my dad knew some words here and there, so he would teach us a couple of things. But yeah, I remember we had a few friends who spoke Spanish, and so I just started to grow a love for it. And so by the time I was in high school and I had to choose a language to learn, it was just automatically Spanish. So I took Spanish in high school for 3 years, and not to brag, but I did okay in those classes. I was able to understand it pretty well. So then after high school, it was time for me to get ready to go on a mission, and I was secretly hoping that they would assign me somewhere Spanish speaking. Just everyone around me started to say, you're definitely going Spanish speaking, you're going Spanish speaking. And so then I was like, well, I don't want to go. But of course I still wanted to. And they did, they assigned me to Mexico. So as soon as I got my letter for my mission, I started doing as much as I could in Spanish. I learned basic phrases in my prayers in Spanish and filled in the rest with English words. I did Duolingo. Whenever I did exercise, I tried to count in my head in Spanish. I just tried doing as much as I could in Spanish. And then when I actually became a missionary, I started writing in my journal in Spanish. I wrote in my planners in Spanish. I tried forcing my thoughts to be in Spanish. When you're a missionary, you have to go to a missionary training center before you start your mission. If you're serving in your native language, you're there for 3 weeks. And if you're learning a new language, you're there for 6. So I was there for 6 weeks, and 5 of those 6 weeks were like a review of everything that I learned in high school. The first time I learned something new, like grammatically, was that last week. And so I thought, oh yeah, I've got this down, I'm gonna do awesome. But I don't know if you've ever been to another country, but hearing people speak a new language is way different from learning the grammar and speaking it. When I got to Chiapas, it was really hard because there was no one around me who spoke English. There were a couple missionaries who spoke a little bit, and so they would translate for me sometimes, but my companion, who I was with 24/7, did not speak any English. So yeah, it was really hard those first couple of months, but I see it as a blessing because I was really able to learn Spanish. Like, I was just in it. The only thing that I was hearing was Spanish. It was really cool when I had my first dream in Spanish. But then I was 4 months in, I had finished my training as a missionary, and I was still having a hard time understanding people. And not only that, but I felt like people, they would talk to my companion instead of me. Even though I did still struggle understanding people, I could pick up on a few things, and I just felt like they weren't taking me seriously. What was happening was someone would be talking, and I would get lost because I would miss a few words in Spanish. So then instead of interrupting them to repeat themselves or whatever, I didn't want to be annoying or, rude. And so I just wouldn't say anything, but then I would zone out because I just got so lost in what they were saying. So one time I talked to my companion, Hermana Zamora, shout out to Hermana Zamora. I told her, I feel like people don't take me seriously. And she said, it's because you don't talk. And I told her I don't want to be annoying and I don't understand what they're saying and I don't want to ask them to repeat themselves all the time. And she said, well, you're never going to learn if you don't speak up and make mistakes. Yay! After that, I was like, fine, and I tried really hard to speak up as much as I could and ask people to repeat themselves and not be afraid to make mistakes. And I started trying to tell stories in Spanish, and at first it was bumpy, but I got better and better at it. The people around me were really great because they always gave me tips for how to say things better. So those people were really awesome and really patient with me. A mission is 18 months long for sisters, and I still felt like at the end of my mission I was looking up words and learning new things all the time. And even with my husband, I'm still learning, but I feel like doing those things really helped me get a good foundation on Spanish, learning the grammar and doing as much as I could in Spanish and not being afraid to speak up and make mistakes. Yeah, so I don't know if you're gonna be a missionary or if you're going to a new country speaking another language or if you just want to learn a new language, but I just wanted to share those tips and just share how I learned Spanish. So yeah, I hope you liked this video, share with your friends, and you know where to click to subscribe. Bye! Bye bye! Bye bye!